Underdog Daily with the Bash Bros, Jon and Nez hanging out. Black and Yellow Dog app, platform of the people. Underdog Fantasy. Yeah, man, fun weekend. We had some more community winners. We got some more masterclass shout outs. We got some winner circle guests because it is a Monday. Excited. One is a second appearance by a member, a friend of the show here. But yeah, man, just another solid week for the community there, and it's going to push into a really fun week for the Badge Bros, just in general here, Nez. We got tons of stuff coming up. We got an international game, which is going to flip up. We got a fun Monday nighter here to talk about. We got some puck tomorrow. Yeah, man, there's just tons of fun stuff happening around here with the Badge Bros.
What's the puck? You're burying the lead. What puck is back?
We got moods coming on tomorrow. Multi-sport draft leads.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. We got the BPC or the whatever you chose to call it.
Yeah, something like
Best Puck Classic, I think.
Best Puck Classic, baby.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Our GOAT Moods, who, if you're not familiar with Moods, please tune in tomorrow. Moods is the GOAT.
Yeah, be fun stuff there. Ness, how was your weekend there, buddy? How I saw you were directionally accurate with some of the dog bowl stuff there. Caleb was one of your big marquee stances of the week there, especially in those Wildcats. So I imagine those Wildcats aged nicely for you. Yeah, how you feeling?
Feeling fine. No huge hits in the draft streets by any means, but 2x and a little over 2x in the Wildcat, thanks to all those Caleb teams. If I would have done like Caleb unstacked more instead of so much with Rome and a little bit of DJ Moore, would have had an even better day. But that was fun to see come to fruition. And the thesis play out. Like you said, had quite a few shots on goal with Dog Bowl. I think I had 7 in the top 50. We're getting close, man. We're getting close. Like I'm just glad that like I feel pretty good about the season so far, and feel like we've been able to see where the puck is going on these slates so far, which is a good feeling.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Yeah, this is it's a good step in the right direction. It's a good like resetting yourself with the process here, where it's like, yeah, we haven't seen it come to fruition yet, but yo, man, you've had some top 50s. Like, let's go, keep going. It's gonna break right.
Exactly.
Right on, man. We got some friends in the chat here. Shout out to our guy David. David dropping off 5 Bad Bros memberships at the door here. He took down, I believe it was the victory formation there, the $20 contest over the weekend for $1,000. So big shout out to David. We got him as part of the community shout outs coming up here. But yeah, I love this sentiment that he just dropped in the chat there. When I win, the community wins. Fuck yeah. That's becoming a little bit of a mantra around here for almost everybody, man.
It is. We obviously appreciate it. Congrats, man. I saw you take that down. I know you've been in these streets a long time, so that was cool to see.
Awesome, man. Nez, let's start with our first winner circle guest. We got 2 winner circle guests today. Unfortunately, a couple others, some scheduling conflicts. We're going to get a couple other ones on, but I do actually, let me give you a little shout out before we do the first one here is Go AZ Cards couldn't make it today, who's also a Dog Bowl qualifier here and wants to give away a masterclass instead of giving away some subs. So he's going to be giving away a masterclass on Off and On the Clock on Friday there. So, yeah, if you guys are not in the masterclass just yet, that's what he wanted to do instead of, giving out some memberships or, I mean, none of this is necessary. It's just all love. But yeah, if you guys are going to be tapping in for Off and On the Clock on Friday there, we're going to be giving away a masterclass on his behalf.
Yeah, that was such a cool idea. I thought that was very, very creative. And yeah, I'm excited to pull that off, see how we can get that done.
Absolutely, buddy. Without further ado, we have a oh shoot, sorry guys, my voice is a little scratchy. This shoulder season here had nothing to do with wedding and fun times over the weekend. It's this shoulder season for the allergies here. We got some brand new winner circles here, so let's fire this bad boy up here. I'm in charge of the circle, or what do you think?
No, I'm always winner. You are circle. Okay. I'm winner. You're circle.
Dude, we can't come up with like an actual strategy to this. It'll lose its allure.
I just made that up. I literally just made that up. There's no strategy. There's no
All right,
there's no
man.
plan.
Let's welcome back to the program. 3, 2, 1. Get your golf claps ready.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Hey.
Dang.
There we go, guys.
Thank
A Mac D 123. You guys have seen him behind the paywall before. This is the Albatross winner from 2 years ago. There brought him on. Golf claps, so appropriate in this scenario. Congrats, my friend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. Big slate. How are you feeling this morning off of that?
Feeling good. It was a big weekend. I didn't tune into too many of the games. I tuned into Marvin Harrison choking the entire game and thinking I was going to get passed by everyone, but ended up not happening. So yeah, feeling good.
There were
Awesome.
like half a dozen teams in the top 10 with Marvin Harrison. It was sweaty. It was sweaty for sure.
For those of you guys who don't know, AMAC joined the program last year for Behind the Paywall one to talk through the golf stuff, and you gave us the play of Rory being the guy you needed, and he wins the Masters. That was part of the thesis, was he was gonna play well enough to win one of these tournaments in the Albatross that is just the 4 majors. But yeah, man, welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, we hit step 1 there. Everything else was in the toilet, but step 1's all that matters. You got to take.
Yeah, I mean, I think I advanced all of I think I went over 60% advancement because we did the Rory 101 thing because of you. So that was good for me learning some of those PGA streets there. You said big weekend all around. Why don't you inform the people what took place on Saturday before this big win?
Yeah. So Saturday I was away all weekend. Saturday I actually got engaged. So Saturday night got into the champagne. Woke up Sunday not quite all there. So kind of just moped around for the morning. Didn't tune into any of the games. So I was in I think 4th or 5th going into the afternoon slate. So I had Walker and Marvin left to play, so I was feeling decent. And then stopped paying attention again. I think I fell asleep for a little bit. Woke back up just in time to see Marvin Harrison Jr. wide open drop a ball in midfield, and I thought it was over right there. So I turned everything off for a little bit longer and then came back and just prayed that Ricky Pearsall didn't get the ball in last 2 minutes or didn't go to overtime. So yeah, worked out.
Right on, man. More agonizing sweat for the dog bowl seat or for the Albatross? What was more agonizing?
I think the dog bowl for sure. The Albatross is kind of hard to sweat. It's hard to follow everyone and know what you need and know what everyone else needs. So it's kind of just enjoy the golf and pray. Mm-hmm. The dog bowl is definitely way more agonizing.
Yeah, well, way cleaner sweat, way more agonizing.
Yeah,
of a sweat for sure.
Yeah.
Beautiful lineup here. Nice. Scroll the F down to Hunter Henry there, who was 47% in the dog bowl and was fractions upon fractions of that in the main contest. I actually can't remember, but we'll find out in a moment here. But yeah, man, beautiful lineup. We talked about those Eagle stacks. You know, maybe they'll never be cheaper again. The Ken Walker stuff aged beautifully with the Sharps Q tag there, and then doesn't wind up playing, gets the backfield to himself. I mean, we love playing either side of that, either Sharps or Walker, when they have the job all in to themselves there. Jonathan Taylor, the stone cold chalk piece that you needed, high scoring running back on the slate there. Walk me through this one. When did you draft it? What was your process? How many were you getting in a week, etc.?
I honestly don't. I think this was an early week team. I don't remember exactly when I drafted. I do about 4 to 8 a week. So I did 5 this week. And nice. I think this was early on in the week. And I couldn't believe I was getting AJ. I think I got AJ Brown in the 40s, and I was just trying to get Hurts and Brown in every lineup, or Hurts and Smith, some variation of that. And then, I tried to jam the 2 running backs that I thought would get the volume. I mean, there was one point halfway through the game, I think Ken Walker had 8 or 9 carries for 7 yards and 2 touchdowns. And so that's all I needed, I guess. And then Henry just, I don't know if it's bro science or what, but Henry against teams with a decent pass rush, just run 6 yards and catch the ball. That's what he did 8 times. So
yeah, beautiful lineup here. Love that. Love that you were all over these plays here. We talked about that Eagle stuff, how the passing game stack may never be cheaper, and they were finally forced into a great game script in which they needed to throw. So nice to see there. Yeah, the little bro science on Henry there. That's a good little shout. The pass rush. Maybe that's put that one in the bank for later there, Nez, huh?
Yeah, I was just thinking, Steelers defense just been pretty trash, but yeah, no, that's another angle to think about when it comes to Hunter Henry, who, tight end 11. I think traditionally we would see tight end 11 and think, overdrafted and maybe scroll past it, but based on kind of what we know about these positional rankings now, that was that came in at sub 50%, tight end 11. So you would think drafted every time, but people, that's where people start to scroll. And it's just kind of a flat tier. Henry, I thought was awesome. I only took him stacked, but I thought it just made a ton of sense on this tight end slate specifically. I thought there was a lot of I wanted to scroll quite a bit. I had a lot of Jonnu that didn't work out, but yeah. So you were so hold on. You were worried about getting passed by Marv?
No. I was worried of getting passed by JSN or Ricky Pearsall teams, or I saw some Caleb teams creeping up too. So
okay, I thought you saw the Marv drop, and I thought you were worried about getting passed because of that reception. I'm like, brother,
no.
You would have been spiking the football. But okay, I got you. Yeah, this is an awesome team. John,
Yeah.
what pick was Ken Walker here again?
I think it wasn't that. It was 3rd round pick, 29. Yeah, it wasn't.
Oh, that's
wasn't
awesome.
All that...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's real. That was definitely early in the week for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome team.
That's great. So with your, you said you're doing about like 5 a week here, AMAC. Do you like try and get like super condensed on one target that you like in each round? Were you trying to get like, hey man, I'm only Philly stacking in this contest because I have 5 of them? What's your thought process with your 5 bullet approach?
I'll usually have 1 or 2 stacks that I try and get in every team. So
okay.
I was big on Philly, and then I had the May to Henry stack in a couple teams as well. Nice. So those were my 2, I think 100% owned. Everything else I just kind of go best projected. So just kind of try and mix and match. The Marv is kind of a homer pick. I'm an Ohio State fan. I just want him to be good so bad, but it hasn't panned out. So I was just hoping he would have a breakout game against the 49ers defense. But yeah, everything else just kind of jam it in there with the 2 stacks that I feel most confident in.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, some good CLV sense on the Ken Walker stuff. Here's some, hey man, we just used to be drafting AJ Brown at the back end of front end of the 2nd round, back end of the 1st round in BBM. What if he's just still the same player we think he is here, right? And we just haven't got the correct game script for him. So just a bunch of good, solid plays here.
I remember slates last year, you couldn't get Hurts stacked with Brown in a BR, let alone the 12-man. So yeah, I was pouncing on that when I got the chance.
Yeah, love it. Well, now that you got this seat, any plans on increasing the volume moving forward or not?
I'll probably. I mean, all I need is 1. So no, I'll probably throw a couple in again. I'll probably stick to the 4 or so a week, just see what I can do. And maybe,
you're a very strong-willed person. I respect that. I respect that a lot.
You guys got a wedding to pay for. You got a wedding to pay for now, dude.
Do it again. Guess what, baby? Those flowers you want, double the order.
Double the order. Nice. Already pricing out exotic animals.
That's so cool.
Man. AMAC, great stuff, bro. Mad congratulations to you. Any parting words for the people? Anything else you want to share with us? Get off your chest. Confess to the crowd here.
Can't wait to be back on. I'll hit again this year, guaranteed.
Ooh.
But no, sub to the Badge Bros. Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate you both.
You're the man,
Awesome,
AMAC.
man. Thank you so much, man. You got any
Thanks, guys.
Ryder Cup golf alpha for the people?
You want to go Europe? I wouldn't fault you.
Ooh, good Canadian kid.
I wouldn't fault you.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you coming on, man. Beautifully well-constructed lineup. Best of luck. We'll see you in Kansas City, man.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
All right,
Peace,
later.
AMAC.
Right on, man. Love that, man. The level-headed approach. Like, hey, man, I'm just gonna keep firing my five. It's 5 a week. It's 5 a week. Here we go. Like, just so tried and true, steady approach there. Nez, no more Dog Bowl winners for us on the program today. As we mentioned before, go AZ Cards, member of the Discord, always lurking in the chat. Mad congratulations to him as well. He did that Caleb plus Rome that you were such a big fan of. The Ricky Pearsall stuff was a big target of mine. Actually ran a bunch of auto drafts with Ricky Pearsall this week once we got the Juwan Jennings kind of like, oh, it was going to be in the wrong direction. Thought that was really smart. Jordan Mason, one of the guys we talked up on Wednesday, how he was going to be a big riser and be a smash piece, gets in this lineup. Juwan Johnson just continues to do his thing and give you fantasy points every damn week here. But a nice team from Go AZ Cards here.
Yeah, awesome team. I would have loved to have landed on this. This is a very conceivable. Ricky Pearsall really became a smash late in the week, coming in right around 57%. Like here, way under owned in the main BR. There he could have even had a bigger day than this. Yeah,
absolutely, man. Yeah. Looking every bit of a good real life football player too. So watch the end of that game there. Shout out to Noah Petro 23 tagged us on the X machine there. Nez, his brother won a seat last year to the Dog Bowl as well. So now we got back-to-back years with a brother participant. One last year, one this year. So mad respect. I think it was Swag Nasty Balls or something like that. Shag Nasty Balls last year.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome stuff there. So, yeah, cool stuff here. Again, another Caleb team that gets home. Very interesting. 2 Eagles wide receivers, but no Hurts. Just going with the naked Caleb and 2 Eagles wide receivers. The Mason play, the Hunter Henry play that just turned out so effing good. Really broke the slate at the tight end position if you were able to get the Hunter Henry stuff right, and in particular, get it right without Drake May. And then Ashton Genty, man, I don't know if aren't you worried about the offensive line? But Noah ain't worried, buddy, because 6 points is all you needed from that flex there.
Yeah, he had like 19 carries, I think. So the role was back to what we wanted it to be. No use in the pass game, which stinks. But yeah, one of those slates where you can get away with 6 points from Genty and still qualify. Definitely one of the stranger weeks, but I like weeks like this because there's a lot of different combinations, as you can see with Genty here, that you could have got right and gotten in. There one have to have a piece, obviously Hunter Henry, but outside of that, a lot of different ways to get here. Yeah,
well said, dude. Those are your Dog Bowl winners, man. We've got 9 who have cashed a ticket. No repeat winners just yet. Those are the Dog Bowl draft game ones. There was also the Pick 'em Dog Bowl stuff here. 46.21x was your winner here. Again, a reminder, everybody, with the Pick 'em Dog Bowls, that this then gets you to qualify, and then you have to win the qualifier or come in the top 3 of 10 in the qualifying week to then qualify for Kansas City. So this player with the Pick'em has not qualified for Kansas City yet, but has found their way to the next part of the finals. Kansas City will be competing for $50,000 there. So 46x. Any thoughts on the Pick'em stuff this week, Nez?
Didn't get there obviously this week, but 46x here. I think we're looking at maybe 50x as being a good target for next week.
Yeah, right on. Our guy Pete over Zed was a 1v1 away from perfection here. He showed us that one yesterday. We were cheering for Keyshawn Booty in the back left corner of the end zone. Did not come to fruition for him, unfortunately. Nez, now that we've covered all the Dog Bowl stuff, natural progression to move on to the Battle Royale. And who better to move on to the Battle Royale than with this week's $50,000 champion, BestBallAlec, aka the Fantasy Grinder. Let's induct him into the winner circle here, Nez. 3, 2, 1. Let's rip. Yeah. Welcome, Alec. Welcome to the program, man. Congratulations, 50 dimes, buddy. How we feeling?
Surreal. I still can't really wrap my head around it, but I'm sky high.
So dope.
As you should be, man. Huge dub. Congratulations. I mean, I know you've been on the platform for a while, so it's really cool to see you get one here.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I mark you guys off in the baseball streets anytime that we're in pods together. I'm checking in throughout the season on you guys, on Best Ball Viper, on Dan J. Precario. I mean, everybody. So it's awesome to be at the top, and it's a surreal moment. It really is.
Love that, man. Mad congratulations to you, dude. Tell us a little bit about your journey, man. You threw out a tweet there yesterday, just, hat tip to a bunch of people in the community here. Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey on the platform.
Definitely. I ran into Locke, as everyone does, years ago, and he's talking about it just being a side type of deal, best ball. And I was like, I want someone that's best ball oriented. Like, that's all that they do. Found our pal Pete Overzet and was just hooked and decided, I'm so good at this, I'm just going to go in, rip 150 BBMs my first year, go entirely over my skis. And it came absolutely full circle that I got 2 teams into the finals my first year playing BBM. And one of the pods, I beat out Pete in the semifinals by literally a fraction of a point, with PMC not scoring at the last game of Sunday Night Football. It was insane. So he's like pulling it up on his channel the next day, talking about his sweat and us going back and forth. And I'm just on the other side of it, like, fingers crossed that CMC doesn't do anything. And he's over there agonizing that CMC can't cash. But that's how it started. And from there, I built up this little bankroll and have just been continuing to pour in, trying to be cognizant of not getting too over my skis. And last year finished second in the pug for 10 grand. So Ricky Pearsall owes me on that. I was in first, and I'm holding Ricky P on that, because he balled out in that last game. And me and the guy that ended up getting first, we both had Kittle, so I was blocked. So as soon as Ricky took over, the max I could get was the 10G, and it's been awesome, man. This year I went into the baseball streets a little heavy before New York got shut down, and then I was going over to my dad's in Jersey to draft some of the teams as well, and got in 90 dingers this year, got one into the finals, finished in 70th, so like a nice little modest year in baseball. Got into the solo shot final as well in baseball, so can't complain whatsoever. You might also remember that my dad finished as he was the reigning champion for the 7th inning stretch. He just passed that along to Sam Olsen. But this year, he got 2 teams in the top 15 for the 7th inning stretch. So he's obsessed with that fucking contest.
It's so good, man. I love this so much. This is the trickle down effects of best ball, getting in on it with your old man as well. That's so cool. This is a great fucking story, man.
I appreciate that. Yeah, he knows what he's good at. He likes those small contests where you already have seen so much of the year, and he's got a process for the 7th inning stretch. I haven't gotten past the first round once. I don't really know how he does it, but he's balling once again in this contest.
That's so awesome, man. That's
Oh.
like it's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, that's very good. Very good stuff there. So the football stuff, is that your first love? Is the baseball stuff your first love? Do you play basketball on the platform as well? Or what are you about?
I'm a multi-sport triathlete, but just the two, just baseball and football. Fell in love with baseball as a kid. That's the sport that I played. So, grew up watching Moneyball, and this is my type of Moneyball, man. It's as simple as that. I love constructing these lineups, and I was into the salary DFS stuff. And as a kid, my dad and I would try on FanDuel a ton to take down the top prize in salary DFS. And we had some nice days, but like nothing crazy. And he actually opted out a few years ago from doing the salary stuff anymore. He was like, this is just not lucrative. This is just a financial suck. I can't do this anymore. So when I started drafting on Underdog, I was like, I don't know. This is a different type of game. I think you might enjoy this one. And he really does. He's actually in the puck streets as well. So he's all over the place, man.
That's great, man. Nice little segue to puck and baseball. Going to cover both of those tomorrow. Back-to-back shows there tomorrow. We're going to do puck for everybody. And then for the members only, a little bit of baseball and a little bit of pennant stuff as well. Man, that's such a fun story. So is this your first year doing the NFL daily stuff, or did you dabble in that last year? Because up until this point, everything with the story is best ball related. When did you start getting the daily street stuff?
Last year, I dabbled a bit in baseball as well. Onslaught Atlanta helped my bankroll a few times last year. So just there were different things that were helping me dabble in the daily streets. Like I'm in New York City, so on the subway back, I'm like just dialed in on trying to get some volume anytime that I see overlay a little bit. So in that regard, the baseball streets and the football streets, marginal success, honestly. I would say that day of the Atlanta onslaught, I ended up having a team that finished like in 5th place last year. That was like a huge bankroll win. And it's basically been every time that best ball season comes around, I've been profitable, and then I dabble back. And this year with the masterclass, I've wanted to take full advantage of it. And here we are, man.
That's awesome, man. I'm so happy for you. That's such a cool story. It's such a relatable story, Nez. Like it's just like, this is the origin story of what everybody wants to happen when they first get into best ball is you start by, shooting way too many bullets on net. And then you're like, whoa. Yep. If I hadn't won that one, I would have been effed, but okay, good thing I got a little bit of money back there. Now let's learn what bankroll management is. Let's learn how to grind these games. Let's move from sport to sport. Very, very relatable process here from you.
Yeah, no, it really is, man. I mean, a lot of people can, like Jon said, just absolutely relate to that experience, and kind of, it's a journey. You're not going to come into these games and automatically figure out how to, kind of handle the role responsibly, especially if you kind of come into it unexpected. You're like, oh man, that first taste, you can easily kind of blast off a little too heavily. But no, you clearly know what you're doing. It runs in the family. I mean, you got the old man out here, like, crushing the games. So that's awesome, man. I know he definitely appreciates, having that with you, being able to play those games with you.
100%. So yesterday when I got back, my wife and I, we were out like walking the neighborhood and such, and I checked my phone and saw that I was in 3rd for 15 at the time. And then Hertz went off a little bit, and Taylor had the 46-yard run, and all of a sudden I see that I'm in first. So I just text my dad. I'm like, so did you fire away in the main BR at all? Like, if so, take a look at the leaderboard. And he's like, no, I'm not in it. Send me a screenshot. So I send him a screenshot, and he's like, holy shit, like wanting to know who I have and such. And like, I'm superstitious. Like I didn't want to do anything until my lineup like locked, until those 1 o'clock games were over. So as soon as it ended and I was in first, I sent him the screenshot and I was like, it's really fucking early. I mean, the game of the week is at 4:00 with the Bears and Cowboys. Nez was talking all week about Caleb Williams. I was in on Caleb Williams a ton this week and Adunze. So to me, I thought someone would have the Taylor Mason combo, but then different receivers that would kind of propel. Like I showed my wife, I was like, this is probably not going to hold. Like, but listen, like, this feels pretty good. Let's put the phone away. Like I texted my dad, I'm going to put the phone away for a little bit. I'll text you after the games. And I just checked in like every hour and saw like, okay, like it keeps on feeling like it might hold. And as soon as that Cardinals 49ers game didn't go into OT, I couldn't fucking believe it, man.
Unreal, man. That was such a level-headed good sweat there, like putting the phone down, not picking it up the whole time. This is legit, dude. Well done. But you did say it was that kind of week, right? Where it's like this team doesn't even have AJ Brown on it, right? Where the AJ Brown to Hurts stack would have outscored the Devontae Adams score there. But the biggest unique piece about this that got this over the line is that 5% Hunter Henry, that like it was so much for someone else to overcome. You were really sweating kind of like what would have flipped the whole slate on its head is if Trey McBride finds the end zone a second time. That was really your biggest piece of leverage here.
100%. If you go through the top lineups, I mean, everybody is having the Hurts, Taylor, Mason, and then they'll have AJ Brown and Puka. And then they, third place here, it was a 4-way split. They all have Ferguson as well. So sweated out Ferguson a little bit at the end, but really looking through the lineups and realizing everything that the masterclass is talking about, how if you have the rushing QB, you don't need the pass catcher. And for this week, it seemed like you should have AJ Brown, but when you scroll the fuck down, you didn't need it. And it was an absolute miracle in that regard. The last 2 weeks, I've been hammering Hunter Henry. He's been my 4th highest tight end in back-to-back weeks. I checked before jumping on. He was my highest owned tight end in BBM. And I had so much doubt this week. I only had one team across my entire portfolio that had fucking Hunter Henry on it.
Wow. Unbelievable. That's all you need.
You would have been kicking yourself, man. Oh my Lord. If you didn't get to Hunter Henry on this team and you were martingaling it for 2 weeks, oh my God. That would have been tough. Would have been tough.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that, one lineup obviously changes everything, but ultimately I overreacted as well to priors. And, you need to be a little bit level-headed in that regard of this guy can go off for 2 touchdowns. Like I talked about my process a little bit on that tweet, and I go through Karane's walkthrough, and in week 2, he was talking about the first read stuff for Hunter Henry. And I was like, oh yeah, this is validating what I thought. Like these receivers suck. Like let's continue hammering Hunter Henry. And then this week, because I picked him up in my home league and he failed, like all of these external things made me go off of Hunter Henry for the most part, except for this one lineup.
Unbelievable, man. This is so good. The story just keeps getting better and better here. This is good stuff. I do think it was a really astute point, what you pointed out here. Like just the overlapping combos comparative, because like these 3 dupe here. I mean, shout out to Patrick Barnes, YouTube, good player on the site, JK and RJ Rat here, but they all dupe the exact same lineup, and you're still dealing with like very sound, structural, intelligent teams here with a 45 and a 66, and it still doesn't give you anywhere near the leverage that your scroll all the way down to a 5% did relative to the rest of it. It just brings that cumulative ownership all the way down there, even though, their teams on paper a little bit prettier in the traditional sense because they had the stack and the bring back and the high total game environment tight end, but your lineup allows you to ship first. So very cool stuff. Very well done.
No, 100% well said. I mean, I was looking back at it, and for when I looked through the masterclass and looked at the different roundtables, the one of like changing your best ball mindset about stacking is one that I re-listened to for this week. So I zeroed AJ Brown and I zeroed Devonta Smith, and Jalen Hurts was my top own QB. And I was like, this is just the path that I want to take, and this is the experiment I want to go with for this week. And it's funny because everyone says like for the BR, you got to be so perfect, but we could have found receivers that performed higher than these receivers. So the leverage that you get from that scroll down is just incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, the perfect piece came from Hunter Henry here, but otherwise, man, like there was a dozen different players you could have went with for sure.
Exactly.
Right on, man. Very cool stuff. Very good story. Pleasure to have you on here. Congrats on the 50 dimes. You talked about, your masterclass guy. You talked about the bankroll management stuff. How are we treating this now that we got this 50 here? Are we taking some shots at the bomb next week? Are we blasting off in the dog bowl streets, or are we going to be more level headed than that? What's your mindset?
So I've been doing 4 a week in the dog bowl, and just trying out different stuff. It being smaller fields, I'm definitely stack happy over there. I think going forward, probably 8 in the dog bowl, something like that. I definitely want to recommend for the masterclass after a bank. How do I change my bankroll allocation? How do I change the grinder mentality? Because I was looking at the $500 grinder bankroll suggestions that you have on there, John. So I definitely want to dabble a little more than 500, but I'm going to continue having that grinder smooth exposure type of mentality.
Awesome, man. Yeah, really cool. Really well level-headed approach to it, man. Big congrats here. Speaking of the masterclass, updated this morning with all the fill rate data and when contests filled stuff for week 3. So if you guys do scroll down in the updated section there, that Google sheet has been updated for everybody. A couple people asking in the chat here. They just want to know how many bullets did you fire at it this week, and were you playing the side contest as well? Like, what was your volume like this isolated week when you won?
So for the battle royale, it was 20, and
Nice.
In terms of overall volume, it was lower than week 2, just because week 2 I thought I had a better understanding of the slate. Quite honestly, I thought there was a lot of funky stuff here in terms of like you can scroll a ton in this one, but the 2 big plays that there were the Jordan Mason and the Kenneth Walker. Like that was what everyone was talking about. So I use the fantasy dog pound is a huge proponent of the best ball overlay too for the combos. And I was hammering Walker, but not Mason on the same regard. So I knew I needed to smooth that out a little bit, considering that they're the same type of play. But yeah, absolutely. I'm in the fullback dive, the engage 8, cover 4, like those contests where you could most easily realize your return. Like I'm always there. So hopefully I'll be having a screenshot for the fullback dive. I like that contest a ton.
Love it, man. We're going to talk a little fullback dive for the Primetime Palooza here in a little bit. But yeah, man, mad respect. This is great, man. This is a walking, living, breathing reflection of the masterclass. It's a reflection of a quality player on the site. It's a reflection of the evolution of becoming a best brawl bro all the way to becoming a daily bro. So this is so cool for us to hear, man.
No, I appreciate you guys having me on. Literally, as soon as I leave work, I have my overhead headphones and I'm listening to you guys. So it's awesome. It's all of this is super surreal. I really appreciate it, guys.
Love that, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, dude, you deserve it. Congrats, man.
Thank you, guys.
Great stuff, bro. Anything you want to plug on your way out the door here? Anything people want to hit you up on BestBallAlec on the X machine?
Yeah, definitely go over there. I'm young, but it's legitimately my first time ever having social media. I'm a IRL type of guy, so I really don't know what
That's
I'm doing
awesome.
over there. Sometimes I'm just sending stuff into a void, and I don't expect anything to come back. But I have a Substack that I started last year after my dad won, just to kind of talk about that story, because it really does it's awesome to send screenshots between us and to just constantly be talking about these slates in different ways. So yeah, check out the Substack. Not all of them are bangers. I talked up Cam Smith for the 7th inning stretch. I don't know what I'm doing in the 7th inning stretch, man. I'm gonna leave that to my dad.
We were big Cam Smith guys, so we all got egg on our face on that one.
Good stuff, man. Appreciate you so much, bro. Best of luck for some dog bowl qualifiers here, so we could see you in Kansas City.
Hell yeah, man. I'll fingers crossed. I'm gonna be visualizing it. Best Ball Viper, just send your luck over my way, brother.
I love it, bro.
Yep.
Mad congrats, my friend.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Peace, man.
Oh man, that was fun. Back to back, really fun. Yes, really down to earth dudes with really relatable stories. One guy getting engaged get engaged on Saturday, and then taking down a dog bowl seat. Another guy who's mixing it up in the best ball streets with his old man, and then now he finds himself winning 50 dimes in it daily. So cool, man.
Yeah, it just doesn't get better than that. That was that's a hell of a story, man. That's just great. I love that so much.
Oh man. Nez, we got some other community members here. I'm actually just gonna scroll our Twitter feed for a half second there. I know there were a bunch of people in a bunch of side contests and that sort of thing. We already gave David a shout out who dropped by there. We already shared the Pick Em stuff. I did see a couple questions in the chat when we were sharing what is the Pick Em Dog Bowl. We've explained it a couple times here, and we will explain it again as we go forth. But basically, you just apply a token to touchdowns only Pick Em entry, and if you are the player with the highest multiplying win on a given week on that Pick Em entry that you applied said token with, then you are the qualifier. So this week it was, what was it again, Nez? 46. Yeah, 46.21 X there was the big winner. So we share the sheet in both the Discord, the X machine, all that sort of stuff when it comes available on Saturday morning. You literally just have to put in your screen name and then it appears in your account.
It's that easy. Sometimes automatically, John said, $5, that's all it takes. And if you win, you advance. Then you got to go get past round 2. But yeah, it's really easy and very low dollar to enter, which is awesome. I mean, it'd be crazy not to get a shot on goal here, or not to get a shot up. Period. Absolutely.
We had some nice caches amongst the community. Shout out to our guy Rudman dropping knee in his full Canes gear in Miami there. Awesome stuff. They're so on brand for Rudman. Not to upstage our guy AMAC, but a Jumbotron proposal here on Saturday. Pretty cool stuff there.
That's just the most Rudman thing ever. By the way, I love that so much. I told Bria, because she's met him. I was like, you'll never guess where Rudman proposed. She said, on a football field.
Like first guess, like got it.
She's like, he didn't. So he didn't. Like, oh, he did.
Shout out AZ Cards again here. We gave him a shout out when we went through all the dog bowl stuff, but I see him hanging out in the chat there. So shout out to you. Best Ball Bob had a couple nice caches over the weekend there. Love to see that one. The story we told there about Noah and his brother. So Noah wins the dog bowl seat and his brother wins 10K, who also won a dog bowl seat last year, wins 10K as part of that 4-man train in third place there. And then Pete was just sharing the story of Alec again there. Guys, check out our guy Pat Donovan with the BBM DB there. He added a whole bunch of contests this weekend. So basically any best ball contest that you played on Underdog Fantasy this year is now on there. So you could check out the leaderboards and stuff. David with that nice 1K in the victory formation dropped off 5 Badge Bros memberships at our door there. So just some community shout outs for the people. Can we tie a bow on week 3 main slate, Nez?
Yeah, I think so. But I will say, John, I'm like Back to back weeks of just nailing QB1, and it's time. It's my turn. Damn it! Slapping the table like I'm Skip Bayless here. It's
people are saying it's Nez's year. People are saying it's
turn.
starting. Actually, here a little shout out to the Sunday Night Football big win as well. Here, Tristan's dad. I just thought it was a great screen name. There, the Cam Scata boys mounted up in a big way last night. Tyrone Tracy gets the shoulder injury. He did get like the opening carries, despite the reports before the game.
Yeah,
Tracy did get like the opening carries, and he had like 3.9 points. I thought I had a couple that were gonna go burr last night.
Tracy had 9 touches in the first quarter, 2 receptions, 3 targets, 7 carries. And then they pull his shoulder out from his socket. His arm out from its socket. Like, come on.
Yeah. So brutal, man. Yeah. I know both you and I were talking last night. Had a couple bangers there that I thought were going to make work. The leaderboard's all flipped over the place now because of the way it ended. But like, I had 3 teams that were the nuts going into last night, and they all needed Tracy and Hollywood, and neither of them came through there. So
how about my guy Taekwon? Ty Weapon, they're calling him.
Ty Weapon with the touchdown there. Yeah, I love to see it, man.
He's the
all right, let's move on here. What's this weekly winners format explanation? Still confused. I don't know. What do you mean? Weekly winners.
Whoever has the top score in the week wins, and then it resets.
Yeah.
And then we do it all over again for 20K.
Yeah, I think J-Cam said at the beginning of the show there that he's in like 4th place right now and has a bit of a sweat at it this evening. So,
yeah, it's going to be tough to know. Like, if you don't have anybody going,
right,
you're just really hoping for a bad game. It's hard to know because it's so tight that you might not even know that you're sweating a team that's like 1,000 places down.
Right.
Because that's what it could be. So good luck to you though, my man.
Yeah. Good luck. Shout out to Pat Mort. Sorry, I missed this one. Dropping $5 off of the door. No big scores this week, but can tell that his lineups are getting sharper. That's part of it, man. These shows in the masterclass. Appreciate you so much for doing that, man. Appreciate the kind words, and best of luck this evening, man. We're going to keep this thing rolling here and keep getting better, keep getting better. Nez, let's talk about the slate tonight, dude. We had 2-gamer here, the classic Monday, Thursday, where we have projections for the Monday, but we don't have projections for the Thursday. We also have some weird injury stuff to talk through with the Thursday night game there. James Conner, unfortunately, done for the season there. So, we're going to have to break down the Cards backfield. Also, Zach Charbonnet had the Q tag all of last week, then ends up missing the contest. Ken Walker falls into the end zone. It's a blow off the doors matchup for the Seahawks there with a couple special teams scores as well. Some interesting stuff to talk through on that side of things. And then pretty straightforward going into tonight, a really high total game with some fun offenses that have had some big time outputs already to start this season between Ravens and Lions, 4.5 point favorites for the Ravens in a 54 total, and then a pick 'em line on Thursday night for a 43.5. So I think just the macro so far is methinks people are going to want to be getting after this Monday night game in the primetime Palooza streets.
Yeah, they are, for sure. And that's evidenced by Goff having a very strong ADP. He's like ADP 11, which is just too rich for my blood. But yeah, that just like that's just goes to show how much people are gravitating towards this Monday night game. But I think the Thursday night game has a lot of fun pieces to take there. I'm very into that. I'm floored that Cardinals are not dogs. That's shocking.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think that is? Do you think that's a little hat tip respect to the way their defense has been playing? Most notably, the most recent game against the Niners here. We've talked about how their defense, especially that pass rush and the rookie corner from Michigan, Will Johnson, question mark, I think is his name, has been like really stepped up and helped solidify that secondary a little bit. Do you think it's respect for just divisional opponents on a short week with two particularly good defenses here? Is that what it is, or what do you think?
I mean, I'm just really not entirely sure. Short week at home.
Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah, I just don't see eye to eye on that one. The Cardinals just they're going to have an offense, with no James Conner. Marvin Harrison is just like looks terrible. Kyler looks terrible. The defense is fine, but it was banged up last week.
Yep.
Likely to be banged up this week if Will Johnson misses again with a groin. He didn't practice all week, and he got a groin injury. Seahawks continue to play banged up and continue. I mean, like the Saints are, the Saints are not good, but just an ass whooping of the Saints at home. Super impressive. But the Seahawks really can only get healthier at this point, and they can get way healthier. Julian Love, Nick Emanwari, I think is how you say his name, and Devon Witherspoon all missed. And like once these guys come back, and I'm not saying they will here, but if they do, man, I don't know how they're not like 3.5 point favorites here. But we can get into that game. That was just like my take on the whole of that one. I was shocked to see that.
No, man, I really respect those takes. Absolutely there. Yeah, Witherspoon missed 2 in a row now there. So yeah, bringing him back in the fold is a big one. Oh man, is this true? CeeDee Lamb out a month?
3 to 4 weeks.
Oh, that's so sad. He had his helmet like he was going to come back into the ball game on. Like they taped him up and then he put his helmet on and I was like, oh, he's coming back in. And then he comes back in and then immediately came back out. So damn, that is tough for the best ball bags right there. Nez, you mentioned the Arizona one, obviously indoor game there. No weather to be concerned about tonight in Baltimore. It looks like a nice fall night for football, like 70-ish degrees with nothing going on there. Just always got to hit on it when we're dealing with a 2-game slate with an indoor and an outdoor there. Yeah, let's talk about this first game here and some of the ADP targets. We can go position by position in this one here, Nez. I did a couple of them this morning. Feels eerily similar to the Buffalo Miami slate, where it was like everyone wanted to play that game environment. Everybody wanted to kind of onslaught that one. Everybody was kind of like impossible to pair, or not impossible, but it was almost impossible to pair like Allen and Cook together or Allen and HN together. It feels similar on this one. You kind of got to make a decision. Am I elite running back in the first round, or am I Lamar Jackson in the first round? Because I think he could separate so much more from the field. So what side of the equation do you fall on that one, Nez?
Well, I mean, I was playing both sides from like the 101, where if you take Lamar, you could get Trey Benson on the way back. And then if you wanted to go tight end, you could. If you wanted to go wide receiver and try to push tight end and maybe get Mark Andrews back, if you were lucky, you could. But it left you feeling like really, really vulnerable at a position. Whereas going Henry or Gibbs, you can really basically punt QB and just tell yourself that Lamar Jackson doesn't separate. And that's a much easier story to tell, I think, and then build a team that's much more balanced. But the Lamar Benson combo, I think, is like absolute money. And, I don't want to talk us up too much as market makers or whatever, market movers, but I feel like the ADP is going to shift a lot after we talk about this.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good to me there, dude. Yeah, the Benson stuff, are you just like kind of aping into like the idea that like now no Connor, even though it's a tough matchup, he just gets, all the usage in the world and he should be thrust up more than like Ken Walker potentially dealing with Sharps coming back?
Exactly. Like There's a lot of risk with Ken Walker. Trey Benson's gonna have the usage advantage over Ken Walker. Trey Benson in the pick'em lobby right now is like a 0.87x to score a touchdown. Once again, going to the usage again, the usage is going to be crazy for Trey Benson. I think they have Michael Carter on the team as well, so like he might get in here, but DeMarcado sucks. Like there's no. Like, so Trey Benson is just gonna have all the work he can handle, and Trey Benson is good. Trey Benson is very, I think, very good. So, that included makes him exciting. Considering the fact that Arizona can't really do a whole lot offensively, so I think there's going to be a lot of Trey Benson in this game. I like him over JMO. I like him over Ken Walker. I don't think I like him more than McBride. But he's a bona fide RB1 here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, good points all around there. I'm going to bring up a Lev tweet from this morning here, just citing the second half, splits there after James Conner left. I also note that Trey Benson did get the goal line carry, but 7 opportunities for Benson. DeMarcado had 3. Bam Knight is also on the roster. 2 former Jets dart throws here in Bam Knight and Michael Carter are on the roster there. So, yeah, interesting stuff. Let's talk through. I want to talk through like one more tier because I do think like everybody has it as like a top 3 here. Nobody's really reading into Derrick Henry from last week. They're kind of just, oh yeah, man, maybe Browns defense is actually really good on the ground, and maybe Browns prove something this weekend against the Packers there. So now I think everybody's kind of like got this as the top tier. Do you agree with that as the top 3 tier?
Yeah, and in whatever order you want, but yeah, this is a tier.
Sure. Yeah. And now after that tier, this is going to be where it gets interesting because we're going to have the conversation of if we are fully buying into the new JSN role, if we are buying into the new Zay Flowers role, if we're buying into Trey McBride's ability to score touchdowns, or do we still believe in the tried and true, the tested Amon-Ra St. Brown, who was a first round pick and had a hat trick last week going behind JSN in this one? How would you like to rank out this one? Because I think it's a really interesting tier.
It is. I definitely give JSN the advantage over Amon-Ra. His usage is better. He is the first look. He is the passing offense. I mean, it's all going through JSN right now. It's elite. It's what you were kind of hoping for, or if you were drafting him, you were obviously hoping for, and we're seeing it week after week. Even whenever they beat the shit out of New Orleans, like he still has a strong role. So yeah, JSN over Amon-Ra for me.
Yeah, to that point there, Nez, going to jump over to the utilization score there. All year breakdowns here. Obviously, some of these guys don't have as many games played, such as Amon-Ra St. Brown, who only has 2, is up there in the top 5. But in terms of utilization report score for all wide receivers in the league thus far, JSN after yesterday is second behind only Puka Nacua there. And Amon-Ra is also in that top 5. Zay Flowers sneakily in that top 7 as well. So we're dealing with like some heavily concentrated, good, strong usage profiles here in these next 3. So just wanted to tack that on while you're talking about it.
Right. Yeah. After this, I think this becomes like pretty interesting. And I definitely think about Trey McBride after JSN.
Okay.
Kind
just
of where I'm at.
Just ability to separate at the position, the VORP conversation, the finally found the end zone. Maybe he's not allergic to scoring touchdowns. Yeah.
I think the VORP he brings is extremely like one of these days, Trey McBride is going to win a slate. Like that is just that there's just no question about it. Mark Andrews has looked bad so far. AJ Barner's ceiling is like 10 points. Right. And Laporta definitely can challenge him. He's not far off. I definitely prefer McBride or Laporta on this slate. But Yeah, McBride's role is so solid. The floor is like incredible, whereas Laporta's floor is like 4 points. So
Yeah.
don't love that.
Laporta's floor is exactly what we saw last game, where they have a design touch in the red zone for Brock Wright instead of him. And instead of scoring 10 with that touchdown and his box score looking the same as it always does, that touchdown variance goes by way of Brock Wright. I'm not sure they're really doing that with like Elijah Higgins in Arizona. Although he did have one red zone target. I believe it was in week 1, but yeah, anyways.
Yeah, which kind of leads me to this next one where it's like Amon-Ra versus Zay, and I think this is like pretty close.
Okay.
I definitely worry about Detroit on the road against a good opponent. And we saw Baltimore, blow a huge lead to the Bills. But before that, it's not like the Bills were really, crushing them on offense.
Right.
The Bills' offense crushing the Baltimore's defense. But, they still give it that big lead. And then they go to Cleveland and do what you expect them to do and kick ass and not give up anything to Flacco and the fellas. So there's a chance that Detroit does make this a game, and I hope they do. The total's high. I personally can't help but have a lot of fear over the Goff stuff on the road, outdoors.
Okay.
Yeah, and we saw how awesome Zay's role has been so far. He's looked awesome. He's been awesome. I think he's a tier well above his counterparts in this offense, with Mark Andrews looking washed, and then Bateman and Hopkins are like, a couple targets a game guys. I think about Zay over Amon-Ra, but you're gonna end up with 0 Amon-Ra if you do that. And I don't want 0, but just my thoughts. Just my thoughts.
Okay. No, cool. Yeah, some really interesting stuff to take down. I'm not sure people realize how dominant Zay has been in terms of the receiving role. The one pushback you could say on the Zay stuff is through 2 games he doesn't have a red zone look yet, and they scored 4 passing touchdowns last week. Yeah, Lamar scored 4 passing touchdowns last week. He was not one of them and didn't have a red zone look. So maybe that's the pushback on Zay, is like, maybe he's not their prototypical red zone look guy, but like the role has been insane. He's lapping the field of everybody on their team in terms of targets, and they've also had design touches for him out of the backfield in the last 2 games. There, he's had 3 carries thus far.
Yeah, exciting stuff. He's pretty awesome, man. So yeah, I can, it's definitely a debate for me. It kind of depends on what my teams look like and what my exposures look like. If I can, I'll definitely flip Zay and Amon-Ra here and there.
Cool. Shout out to BestBallAlec, man. Awesome interview. Awesome time there. Great stories there. Drops off 20 Batch Bros memberships at the doorstep here. Mad love, mad appreciation, mad respect, my friend. Not necessary, but always appreciated. That's going to give you guys access to at least 2 shows this week, flirting with maybe even potentially a third. But tomorrow, going to be some baseball stuff. I'm going to rip a solo one after we do some NHL stuff tomorrow. So Tuesday being our multi-sport draft league window, and then No Strip Nez on Friday, a staple, an absolute staple of the 12-team drafting community there. Mad respect. Thank you so much to the Fantasy Grinder.
Yeah, just like you said, super appreciated. Yeah, super cool, man. Super cool.
Guy might have to change his name to Fantasy Hawk soon, huh? Graduating from that grinder tier with a 50K score.
play around with the contest spreadsheet, man. You never know. See what you can get into.
Love it. Nez, that was kind of like the macro of the micro, which is a terrible way of explaining anything. But what I mean by that is it's the 2 most important decisions on the slate with the 2 top tiers. And that was kind of just like the macro on those 2 tiers. Let's go position by position and break it down for the people here. We'll start with the quarterback. We always have the VORP conversation. We had it last time out with the Josh Allen slate. We're like, if Josh Allen separates, he can separate in a completely different way. Is that true of Lamar Jackson, or are we scared that he does not rush inside the 5 at all anymore. And the way in which he separates isn't the same on our site as the way in which Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen can separate.
No, of course it is. I mean, yeah, like it's Lamar Jackson, man. Yeah, you can. It's just how do you want to play that if he does? What does he need to do to get there? What is the winning lineup that has Lamar Jackson in it look like if he's doing this? All questions you kind of need to ask yourself. He's going to be available at 2. He's going to be available at 3 sometimes. So yeah, definitely need to think about these builds, particularly from the 101. I think like how does that winning lineup look like? So I'm going to probably be even on Lamar Jackson, like a cool 25%. Don't want to be too high. Don't want to be too low. Yeah, just because I think there's a lot of different ways it can go. It always feels iffy going QB 101 in these.
Yeah, good shouts there. Good one from Purple Yosh too in the chat here. Just the defensive guys missing, like Kyle Van Noy for sure tonight. Also, Patrick Ricard's missing for the fullback side, so like less I formation stuff, like maybe a little more 2 tight end set stuff tonight from the Ravens as well. So a couple good macro points there, not related to quarterback, but just wanted to bring that up in the chat real quickly there for people. Yeah, Nez, just thoughts on like the full-fledged punt at the quarterback position, like Sam Darnold, a couple nice games, hasn't had the big like pass volume game necessarily yet. Like it's been a little bit limited. They've controlled games and stuff, but he's put up usable box scores that, don't necessarily, as long as nobody separates on the slate, he's most likely not going to kill your lineup. So just thoughts on the whole punting of the position.
Yeah, I mean, Sam Darnold is like one of the best QB punts you're going to see this season.
Right.
Goff is expensive. I'm going to have like very, very little Jared Goff, which is like kind of scary because he just put up 33 last week, but that price I just think is too much. I would, and then if it's not Lamar, it's going to be Darnold for me. Like I'm going to wait. You're going to force me to take the last QB in the room, and if I'm up at the 601 and I got 2 QBs on the board and it's Darnold or Murray, I'm probably taking Sam Darnold.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, like you said, man, the pass volume just hasn't been there for Darnold. Just what if it is? and then what happens? Then what does he do? Probably puts up more fantasy points because he's been efficient.
Yeah. No, well said, dude. Well said. You rank it like that kind of thing, like Lamar, then Goff if he falls, but kind of a little bit out on Goff, and then Darnold over Murray pending the construction of your team.
Yep. Yeah, that's how I'm playing it.
All right. Sounds good, dude. That's the quarterback position. Saw this question a couple times now. I think it was in the Discord as well. Captain James, no double doink this past week. There was a comment from Brett Boy that they anticipated being back being back next week. So yeah, that is a staple of our grinder portfolio in terms of the double up. I would reallocate to heads up cash games. I know they're not as fun but if I was reallocating that portion of the role, I would reallocate it to like 3-mans and 4-mans and 2-man, 3-mans and 4-mans in the cash lobby. Would you feel similarly there, Nez?
Yeah, I think that's like a decent pivot. I don't think it's going to be quite as profitable,
right?
But it is a good pivot. It's the next best thing for sure.
Yeah. Hopefully that contest is back this week, and I have reason to believe that it will be. So yeah.
I hope so.
Code's asking cover 4. I think cover 4 will be back. Cover 4 has been there all 3 weeks.
Yeah, it should be. Sometimes they add that late, but it should be. Double doink isn't up yet, but hopefully they can bring that back.
Yeah. Let's talk about the running back position here. That top tier of 3. Do you like Henry or Gibbs more this evening?
Henry.
Yep. Just touchdown roll to himself.
Perfectly said. I think I'm on Baltimore in this game. Obviously, based on my golf outdoors comments.
Yeah.
Gibbs' role has been strong, but yeah, his touchdown equity is not nearly as strong as Derrick Henry's.
Cool. Benson and Walker, you kind of already alluded to this, that you like Trey Benson potentially more than Ken Walker, with Ken Walker potentially having Zach Charbonnet coming back. That's not a given. That's we kind of thought Worthy was closer than he actually was, and then Worthy didn't make it back. But Charbonnet did go 3 flat out DNPs last week. Like, he didn't even practice. You get a short week here. I don't know. Is this part of the plan with Ken Walker still? That like, hey, Sharps, just rest, don't practice, and now you guys are both back for Thursday night? Or is this a legitimate injury where, if Ken Walker had this backfield all into himself, would you like him more than Trey Benson?
Yeah, if Ken Walker is all by himself, I'd probably prefer him to Trey Benson. But Trey Benson with no James Conner is an extremely, extremely fun role. So that's something that I am getting overexcited about.
Okay.
And
there's no fear that, they'll take the goal line stuff away with, Michael Carter or someone like that, or
Michael Carter.
Huh?
Trey Benson has like 50 pounds on Michael Carter and
okay.
3
No,
inches.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
That's Trey Benson.
Okay. All right. Sounds
Big
good,
boy.
dude.
It's like 6'2", 230, moves fast. Like I'm stoked about Trey Benson. Hate that Connor went down like that. That's not how we wanted it to go. But now it's all eyes on Trey Benson. Who, John, I think you have 8 shares of Trey Benson. They have to all be streamed BBMs. There's.
How do you know
we would take him a lot, and you would try to talk me off him, and obviously it was a bit slappy to take the highest handcuff at ADP, but
right.
Hopefully I can make you proud here.
Yeah, I was definitely out on that. That might just be 8 stream teams there. Shout out to John. Super duper took down the cover 4 there yesterday as we're talking about the cover 4.
Get those
just lurking in the chat, drops off a little. Oh yeah, by the way, happen to know who took that one down? That's good shit. Trey Benson did have 3 red zone opportunities even when James Conner was healthy, and then he had the one after in which so he has 4 on the season. DiMarcado did have 1 yesterday, but just noteworthy that they were already mixing him in the red zone in general. Nez, let's have the conversation here about Q-Tag Sharp in the last round, or the David Montgomery flex consideration, because the David Montgomery flex spot is direct leverage off of the Gibbs teams. Is there any way or mindset as to pairing the two together, Gibbs and Montgomery? Like, it's a classic split backfield debate here where we think David Montgomery has the majority of the goal line role, but we're not sure. Just thoughts on that dynamic and how he is as a flex play tonight.
Yeah, you kind of have to look at him compared to wide receivers too, to kind of understand who you are taking around him.
Sure.
Because I prefer him to Marvin Harrison, and I could probably flip flop him and JMO. I think he's a good pick. That stat line that we just saw is kind of what you're hoping for a little bit. 50 yards, a touchdown. Somewhere around 10 to 13 fantasy points will do. Maybe this is Galbrain, but I feel like him and Gibbs go well together on the same team. Where if Gibbs is doing well, I do think that Montgomery is in position to score touchdowns or do well also, because Gibbs' efficiency, I think, is just good for everybody here. And I think that can set up for, Montgomery touchdowns, or just a sign of things going well for the Lions in general. So I don't think that they're bad to pair together. Not that I'm seeking it out. Just think that they're totally fine to take on the same team.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well said, dude. Yeah, I think bringing up the flex positions consideration, the floor ceiling combo of David Montgomery feels so much better than clicking Cooper Kupp, Rashad Bateman, Marv Harrison.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, good shouts, dude. I think almost flipping him with Waymo is totally fine on this slate too, especially the way should have scored on our site. Nick bringing always the best alpha around. Plus Trey Benson had the "I got you for life" number 6 tweet. So you got to give him a bump. That's fucking sweet.
For life.
I got you, James, for life.
That's awesome.
Nez, let's talk about the rest of the running backs here. Some speculation on DeMarcado having like a bigger role, or if they're trailing and he's the pass catching guy. Justice Hill, they just love Justice Hill in general. He always, works his way in there. Can he do anything with the receiving volume? Can you pair him with Derrick Henry? We had a slate last year where it was like a Lamar, Henry, and Hill team took down a showdown or primetime Palooza slate there. So yeah, just thoughts on back end of guys here and the Sharps Q tag.
Sharps is a good pick, I think, with the Q tag.
Okay.
Where you take him, he's a 6th-round pick. It's totally fine. You'll get a swap, and if he's in, that's a very exciting round 6 pick that now becomes like a staple of the 3rd round. So you can do that and just swap to anybody here. DeMarcado is going to be a no thank you for me. I'll have none of him. I don't know if Michael Carter is in the player pool, but I fully expect a better role for Michael Carter than DeMarcado here, and he's not. So don't really have to worry about that. Yeah. Justice Hill, I think, is interesting though. We haven't seen Justice Hill score a touchdown yet, but we know his role is like solid. And on these island games, that's when Justice Hill always comes to life. So don't be surprised if Justice Hill finds himself in the end zone, because that's just what he does. He fully exists to wreck primetime Palooza slates. Sometimes you just gotta. That's all the analysis you really need is Justice Hill on an island game. Yeah, he's scoring tonight.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's all I need to hear. I'm ready to click it.
Yeah.
Guys, if you're just viewing the program or you're on the X machine or something like that, man, get over to the YouTube right now. There is some high-level conversation going on in the chat right now about contest selection on the site and kind of like applying some of their most recent, results to which contests and that sort of thing. It's very good stuff. Just go take that in if you happen to be on one of the other platforms or you happen to be just listening instead of watching. I think it's really sharp there. Let's move on to the wide receiver position here. We talked about that big 3 tier there and how you can rank it a little bit differently. You had it JSN, Flowers, then Amon-Ra. I honestly don't have like a crazy lean, to be honest, with this like grouping here. It does feel a little weird taking the dude in the game total that's significantly worse on a short week over Amon-Ra and Zay. But that being said, the JSN role has just been so fucking elite. Like it's been elite. So yeah. I just thinking through that. The next kind of like tier is very archetype of player driven here. So like JMO is like your ceiling shot, like 3 for 80 in a score. And if it's a low scoring slate, you can't live without it kind of thing. Marv Harrison had a whole bunch of opportunities and was an agonizing sweat for our guy AMAC there and had a couple crucial drops in that one. Cooper Kupp didn't really have much opportunity because they were already up 24-0 by the time they had a real opportunity on offense kind of deal there. Torrey Horton looks like a dude, and he scored twice, one by way of special teams. And then Bateman and Hopkins, you can kind of, DeAndre Hopkins' ADOT is really nice right now, and he's touched pay dirt a couple times here. I think if I'm touchdown hunting, I'd rather click his name than Bateman, but maybe that's just results oriented. Yeah, walk through it all, man.
Yeah, like you said, JMO boomer bust, true boomer bust here, I think. But definitely like him 4th. Marv by default is wide receiver 5. No one wants to click him, but everybody knows they have to if they need a wide receiver there.
Right.
Kupp, easy wide receiver 6, in terms of, floor ceiling combos. After that, you can really mix and match, I think. Like Torrey Horton, I think has a chance to, maybe at some point in the season from a point on, has a chance to out-target Cooper Kupp. He's clearly very good. They know that he's good. They sent, MVS packing early in the season. They love this guy. So he's definitely a guy to keep an eye out on, which makes me like him here because if the pass volume goes up, how much of that does Torrey Horton see? I'm really, into that. But I think I'm with you with the Baltimore guys, where I prefer Hopkins over Bateman. I think that he like whether or not Hopkins outscores Bateman, maybe like, I don't know. The fact of the matter is that Hopkins is clearly a problem for like Bateman's fantasy output so far, in terms of like where he's targeted, the type of targets that he is getting. Bateman kind of had that role all to himself. Hopkins, like they overlap a lot in what they do. So that's a problem for Bateman. And then after this, man, like try not to draft anybody down here, but I think I prefer Tesla, a guy that, continues to make big plays, and they have said openly that they want to get him involved more. So that just feels like a breakout waiting to happen, or, at least a nice usable score in this slate. And then I skipped over Michael Wilson for a reason. I just don't want anything to do with Michael Wilson. I need to look into what Zay Jones, like when he got those targets and whatnot, because I think I prefer Zay Jones over Michael Wilson. There was talk about him in the preseason, him being Zay Jones, where there was like talk that he could, see more routes from Michael Wilson. It's all nasty there. It's just a scroll to point out Tesla will be there most times, so you don't have to make that pick.
Right on, dude. You like Tesla over the group for the scroll portion there. Do you like Horton more than Tesla?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I could take Horton over those Baltimore guys sometimes.
Okay. Sounds good to me there. Tez Walker scored a couple times last game there. Any love for like a Tez role? I mean, it was only 2 targets and it wasn't a ton of utilization there, but I will bring up the actual numbers. I was just looking at it.
Not something that I plan on doing.
Yeah, he played 23% of snaps. He played 3 more snaps than DeAndre Hopkins, but that was also like they had that lead and they had that team in they had that game in check,
Right.
Any love for like a Jake Bobo red zone target? Khalif Raymond we used to get excited about, where they'd move him around and that sort of thing. Any reason to click on anyone else?
I don't think so.
All right, cool. Let's move on to the tight end position here. We talked about Trey McBride, and Trey McBride kind of pushing up into that wide receiver tier, and you can like him, kind of in that pick 5, 6, 7, 8 range is kind of the sweet spot for him. But 5, 6, 7 is probably where he belongs if you're playing the VORP conversation there. We both liked Laporta next. Mark Andrews, everybody thought the underlyings were going to come crashing down, but no Isaiah Likely again this evening. Any chance he could find the end zone there? Like, it's a pretty clear top 3 in this order, right?
Yeah, it's extremely straightforward.
Okay. If you're going to scroll with your last pick, or is it just AJ Barner or scroll? Is that the answer for you?
Yeah, like it's probably gonna be AJ Barner most times.
Okay.
Let's see here. I don't know if there's any reason to get cute with Elijah Arroyo, but yeah, I don't. He averages a 1.3 targets a game. Barner averages 2. You're flipping a coin, so Arroyo is going to be way lower owned if you want to do that instead. But I'll probably end up going Barner.
Okay. Yeah, Brock Wright over Barner suggested in the chat. Yeah, I mean maybe that's a little bridge too far for me, but they both seem fine as like last. I think if I'm scrolling, I'm just going to put this out there. I think it's Charlie Kohler. Okay. I think with no fullback this evening in Patrick Ricard, I think you could have more of the 2 tight end set stuff. I think he could work in like a little bit of that fullback role. I think there is a path this evening to like Charlie Kohler finding the end zone. We saw him find the end zone last year on a big long touchdown. The joke that Mark Andrews is so back, he finally scored a big long touchdown, and it was Charlie Kohler. I think that was literally week 3 of last year, maybe week 2 of last year there. But yeah, man, I think just in terms of like the highest implied total on the slate and the highest game total on the slate, I'll take that backup tight end role when it looks like there's a reason to forecast a vacancy with no Likely and no fullback Ricard.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Andrews has 4 more targets than Kohler this season,
Right.
and Charlie has no targets, but Mark Andrews only 2. So, yeah, no, I like that shot a lot, man. It's just that island that's just such an island game name,
Oh.
Like that's just like you're kidding yourself if you're throwing Charlie Kohler out of your player pool. Like you gotta see the signs there. Wright is a decent shout because Wright does see more targets per game than AJ Barner, but we talked about Seattle's pass volume being super, super low so far. So, I'm still gonna lean to Barner, but love the Charlie Kohler shout. Like that's really good.
Yeah, I like that as like everybody throws their hands up in the air of like everybody's doing the Lamar Andrews stack because it's so easy, or everyone's doing Hopkins and whatever, and he just happens to score and not separate at the position, but just happens to be the guy you need.
Yeah, it just gives you, you take 6.7 or that'd be 7.2 fantasy points, a 7-yard touchdown, and that's all he does. Like
Right.
That's cool, like that's not bad. That's better than he's live to be a tight end 2 on the slate with that score.
Exactly, right? Exactly. Elijah Higgins did have 2 red zone targets. He did have that 45 points or 45 yards against Carolina. Just athletic receiving tight end there. Tip missed that game though. So Tip missed the one game, and then you see the volume actually favored Tip in the most recent game, and so did the snap counts. So if you wanted to get super gal brain, our guy Purple Yosh in the chat is saying scroll the F down to Tip there. Nez, it's time, dude. It is time.
Let's do it. Get us in the lobby. Give me 2 seconds.
All right. One more spot here. McBride just hit his monthly quota of touchdowns. Love that. Justice Hill preparing to shove your face in dog shit. I mean, this is just such a Justice Hill slate, isn't it? Nick with some coach speak for us. The discrepancy between Bateman and Hop is wild, but they said they want Hop to get more snaps, so I'll mix and match. That seems fine. Seems good. We got All Day Ray in here, and then a couple players I am unfamiliar with. Oh, man. Who else was in the chat there? Someone else said they had a win this weekend that I missed. Oh, I saw F you troll me. I think he had a win this weekend as well. So shout out there. Joining up to become a member. Appreciate you. Believe I saw that one on the X machine. Let's see. There you go. There you go. Shout out to F you troll me. Nice little 1K there. Very similar lineup to what took down the BR. You replaced this Bijan there with Jonathan Taylor, and you're cooking. Interesting room thus far. We get Lamar Jackson goes there. JSN goes at 2, so a little bit of a rogue drafter there buying into the JSN. I think it's probably Gibbs here, and then you just take the unique combination of pairing the Detroit guys together and hope Jared Goff comes back.
Yeah. I think the Detroit guys pair well together. Like I think they all kind of correlate well in terms of one having success, probably 2 having success. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, Daniel saying in the chat here, All Day Ray, my nemesis in hockey. Yeah, very good hockey player there. Same with I Love Kitties. I Love Kitties had a win last weekend as well in football. So, yeah.
I think they're top of the BBM regular season too right now.
I Love Kitties is?
I think so.
Wow.
Or maybe it's Big Old Kitties.
Oh, okay. Either way. Great screen name to win on the platform.
It is in fact big old kitties.
Big old kitties. My favorite kind of kitties. We get Ken Walker to come back to us, and we get Jared Goff to come back to us. I think it's probably just snap. Oh no, we didn't get Ken Walker. My bad. My eyes deceive me. Ken Walker went at 7. I think Goff is probably 1 here, Nez. What do you like?
Yeah. Goff makes sense here.
Mark Andrews on the tier break bring back or full Detroit onslaught with Montgomery?
I kind of lean Montgomery.
And we just go all in.
Yeah.
Welcome to the team, Charlie Coiler.
Because you're probably gonna get Bateman or Hopkins on the way back too, hopefully, which would be pair super nice with this team.
Straight faced after John said my favorite kind of kitty.
I believe I cleared my throat. I don't know.
Oh man. Just talking about Goff's price too expensive. Yeah, I mean, it's true. But when you build out a team, you got to be cognizant of like what you're doing with said team, right? So like we probably could have pushed it again, but like for what? Like we built out a Detroit onslaught with our first 2 picks. We need them to go burr. So you throw you throw the isolated player take out the window to build a cromulent team that makes sense for the contest.
Yeah, that was a no-brainer.
Interesting spot here for All Day Ray because he's getting left with Kyler. Does he want 3 Baltimore places? Like we might get Andrews to come back.
I bet he takes him.
Yeah, just projection bros it up.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he doesn't.
He takes Andrews there, which leaves us with a wide receiver and a tight end here. Barner, Kohler, Horton. Scroll to say Flowers, Brock Wright.
What do you want to do at tight end? Do you want to do Kohler?
I do.
Let's cue Kohler. No, let's talk about this.
All right.
So I think Torrey Horton makes the most sense. He's our favorite player on the board. But do you go Tesla?
And you just go all in Detroit. Detroit goes bird. Detroit breaks the slate.
Like I do not think it's crazy. I don't think it's crazy on a slate like this. The total's so high. If they're gonna do it, they're gonna fucking do
touchdowns.
It. Yeah, like they spread the ball around a lot.
All right, let's do it. Let's jam night 1 of the contest, get a unique combo start there, and then just go all in on Detroit and bring it back with the other tight end from the Ravens there and Charlie Kohler. Kind of fun.
I like that.
Let's rip another one.
You sure as shit not going to be duped unless somebody decides to on purpose, but that's going to be tough to dupe.
Jared Goff throws 10 touchdowns. Easy game.
Who says no? Who says no?
Shout out to Paul. I was inverted hanging out in the chat. Yeah, FantasyGrinder rolled through earlier today. All right, here we go. Friends and family. Nick's in here. Vivek's in here is always hanging out. T-Polk's always hanging out. Let's get this.
All right, so now obviously like Nick will dictate what we do. Well, let's say he goes running back.
Yeah.
You want to go Lamar?
I'm happy to. Yes. Yeah, I'm happy to. Mm-hmm. I do think in terms of like the way in which guys can separate on a slate, I liked the Josh Allen slate more than I liked the Lamar slate here.
Okay.
Because Josh Allen's goal line role is just so much better.
Mm-hmm.
He goes Derrick Henry. Do you like Lamar or Gibbs?
I think I like Lamar.
All right, let's do it. Charlie Coyle, come on down. Now we're stacking you up, dude.
Now we can stack it. Yeah. No, I like Lamar. I do agree that like touchdowns favor Josh Allen.
Yeah.
But in terms of who I think is like a better player, I think Lamar is better. If we can get Lamar Zay, that would be a lot of fun. We'd have a discussion there. A short one, I think. But yeah, Lamar. It's Lamar. It's Lamar effing Jackson. I think he could use a competitive game environment though to run more. I don't think he'll run quite as much if it's a route.
Right.
Which
That's a good point on like the back and forth dynamics. You also need him to score from distance too. Zay goes there. Is it a tier break here with Trey McBride?
Kind of. But like,
Okay.
Would you want to go like Ken Walker, JMO, anybody else other than Trey, knowing that we can stack with Mark Andrews?
Yeah, I think I'd probably go Ken Walker. I like
Let's
Ken
do Ken
Walker
Walker
more than Benson.
Yeah, let's go Walker. Because it's kind of a thin bet, sort of, when you take McBride with Lamar. You really need McBride to put up 20.
Right. Yeah. JMO, end of a tier for you, or do we pull up David Montgomery?
We could do Montgomery here.
Let's do it. I think way more people are just going to take JMO there because of the ADP game.
100%. Yeah. That combinatorially, that was a hell of a word. I think that this will be way more rare.
Yeah.
And I don't even know that you're going to see a lot of like 4th round Montgomery with Lamar teams. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like that would be tough.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Greg Dortch did see his snaps go up a little bit last week, but man, there's not much there right now. They like Zay Jones more. They like Mike Wilson more. They're both playing more than him. I mean, if I'm going to throw darts, I'm going to throw darts at the higher game totals and higher team totals than throwing darts at Dortch.
Yeah, we have a pretty good idea of who Dortch is, and it's not somebody that you scroll down for on primetime Paloozas.
Okay, so 2 tight ends go there. We kind of got our pick of wide receivers here. Marv Harrison definitely will project the best of this group.
I think you just go Marv. I don't even think it's a discussion.
All right, we go Marv, and then Nick's not going to take 2 Baltimore receivers here. He's only going to take 1 if he takes them, so we could do a little stack, and then we could scroll. He goes double Seattle, setting himself up for getting left with Sam Darnold there. So
I think we both prefer Hopkins here, right?
I think so, yeah. I mean, like, the ADOT's been impressive. The catches have been insane nice. Like, he's mossing the shit out of dudes, man. Like, those touchdowns, there's such a good role. Like, we talked about it so much last year, Nez. Like, how is, like, Mahomes and KC not just using this dude exactly as Baltimore's using him this year? Like, when you're in the green zone, bucket, he down there somewhere, and let him just go moss somebody. Like, he's a fringe potential Hall of Famer. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, he's got I like the targets per route run, 20% for him. Better than Bateman's. You running back Kohler, or you don't want to do Barner?
No. Big Chuck Nasty, baby. Let's get it. Big Chuck Nasty Kohler finds the end zone tonight. Let's go. Giddy up.
Let's go.
That's fun. Guys could see the difference in this room versus the previous room, like just in terms of like 4 red badgers and like the loopholes you have to jump through dealing with like, Nick beside us. Like there's no chance we're going to get like Benson back and like this sort of thing. Whereas the previous room, like, what happens there is like JSN goes at 2 and then we get a unique combination and that sort of deal. So very interesting dichotomy of rooms there between those two. A Sharps goes at 19 here. That's pretty sharp if he's able to play this week. Justice Hill sighting here as a bring back off of 3 Detroit pieces. Kind of fun. Just thoughts, Nez?
I mean, I think everybody drafted pretty well here. I don't love Kyler teams, but T. Pollock, drafted a really nice team with 3 really good receivers. And, if Kyler's rushing, the Detroit stack thesis, Justice Hill Island game, that can make some big noise. Vivenk's got the Charbs leverage going. If Charbs suits up, he's in a good spot. Ultimately, though, like Nick's team is probably my favorite. That's not ours. Just that Darnold double, Trey Benson, McBride, Derrick Henry. This is basically why I prefer going running back 1, because if I can get Sam Darnold with the last pick in the draft, I feel really good about that.
Love it, dude. Yeah, well said there. Yeah, I agree with you. I do like the way that team shapes up, and I do like the way it shapes up when you do the punt stuff a little bit more.
Yeah.
All right, Nez. I think it's a good place to tie a bow on it. Fun stuff with the winner circle there. We could do a little pick 'em for just this evening if there's anything that's been popping off the page for you. I can look over at Unabated as well while we're doing that. Anything pick 'em related that was piquing your interest?
I just thought that everything in this game was really well priced.
Okay.
It was.
Yeah, we don't have to force it.
Yeah, the one angle that I was taking was like JMO touchdown, 1.5x. Man, he's just he's essentially, I think, a coin flip for that. I would call that better odds than that. It's even gone down a little bit. Nice, got a little CLV, baby.
Yep.
No, I think JMO's a fun way to build a pick 'em for tonight.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm looking at Unabated right now. They like JMO on the higher receptions by a little bit. They're also showing some stuff from Thursday night that they like. Dude, permission to mix in a Thursday night just because we did cover Thursday night in this show.
Yeah, I don't know how much is going to be available, but let's see what they've got.
Let me see if it's here. Those are Unabated's 2 best right now. JMO on the receptions, but we chose touchdown. And then lower on the Kyler, higher on the Sam Darnold, and it kind of fits the thesis of the program.
Yeah, I mean, you're just giving my priors the ultimate glaze here. So of course I'm going to ride that.
All right, let's do it. No need to force it there. If we don't, love the plays. JMO slides people are liking. Laporta scoring. Hopkins yards feels low. All right. Okay.
God damn it. Here we go. All right, let's wrap it up. All right,
let's wrap it up. Okay, Hopkins on the yardage stuff. JMO on the slide. Even though we don't love JMO, he's just such a good player to slide with.
Correct.
Yeah, so that 89.5 for JMO slide, like that could be that's 2 catches for the cat.
89.
And then Justice Hill. Lower on the rush yards. The Derrick Henry game tonight.
All right.
Little 15 extra to feel alive there from the chat. Awesome.
All right, we gotta do just one more.
Oh yes, we do. Oh yes, we do. What do you like?
Do you want to go double? Do you want to go like big time?
I mean, how big time? Sell me this pen.
Both of our island boys hitting for touchdowns in one pick 'em.
Yeah, let's do it. Yep, let's do it.
So Kohler, Chuck Nasty.
Chuck Nasty, babe. Big Chuck.
Tutty.
Yep.
Tesla.
Tutty.
Tutty.
Let's just do that. Let's play that as tonight, dude.
Sure.
The moon shooter. Let's do it.
And I think if you really want to get crazy,
Yep.
you just put all 4. You go Kohler, Tesla, Justice Hill, Brock Wright. If your multipliers will allow you, I don't know like what it is state by state. If the dog app will allow you, you're looking at over a 1000x for all 4 of those guys to score a touchdown.
Oh my God. My state ain't allowing it. But yes, this is the big Tutties. Tutty preview.
Big old tutties, baby.
Big old Tutties. All right, Nez. Let's top on it there, man. I gotta go rest these vocal cords. Guys, big shout out to everyone who joined today, AMAC and the Fantasy Grinder there. So fun. Great stuff. Ringing endorsements from the masterclass all around there. Much love to the gifted memberships and those who signed up at the door there. What did we end up with? David dropped off 5. Pat Moore Poker dropped off $5. BestBallAlec dropped off 20 membies. And then FU Troll Me joined up as well. Mad respect. Thank you guys so much. Gonna make good on that tomorrow. Do some pennant content. Do some baseball stuff behind the paywall. Some of that stuff will be pivoting to basketball in the future here when that stuff starts going on. And Fake Moods will join us for the Best Puck Classic tomorrow. Going to be talking a little puck there in the first window of shows tomorrow. Then we have the definitive preview on Wednesday. We have a very special Thursday night football slate this week that is a 3-gamer, a Thursday times London on the Sunday morning, times Sunday night football. Micah Parsons Bowl there. Yeah, going to be a fun one to talk through there. So monster stuff. Monster stuff coming for this week. And then Off and On the Clock. We're going to have a masterclass giveaway on Off and On the Clock on Friday as well. So yeah, man, fun week ahead.
Yeah, jam-packed. Going to be a good one, guys. So make sure you're there for Friday if you don't have access to the masterclass yet for that giveaway.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said there. Good point by Luke in the chat here. Looking forward to the pennant content. Like this is really tough right now. Yeah, man. The Mariners going 13 of the last 14 or 14 of the last 15 now, and kind of like the Tigers going the opposite direction, the Guardians coming up. There's a lot to talk through. We didn't go that granular specific team by team, but we did do a draft and talk it through on Thursday last week, Nez? Tuesday last week. Tuesday last week. So go check it out down there somewhere there. It'll give you a really good entry to the pennant there with some macro strategy if you guys are interested. All right, best of luck tonight, Monday Night Football. And if you're carrying slates over from Sunday times Monday, best of luck as well. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, 2 p.m. Eastern, for some Best Puck Classic. Everybody's favorite time of the show, the end. Peace.